Yo guys, what's up? You ready for an opening training? So earlier today I did a bot game against the Lichess Stockfish Fairy on level 2 and we got into a 3 knights with me having the black pieces, and I realised that I really haven't trained my stock response to the 3 knights as black very much, which is the Winanwer. So the idea very much with the Freddy Krueger repertoire with the black pieces is we're going to play this normal King's Knights opening, and then we're going to try and get in the move F5 in many situations. So against the Italian we do it, against the Spanish we do it, against the Ponziani we do it. We also do it against the Bishop's opening before the Knights come out, and also against the 3 knights. So 3 knights is where White here plays Knight C3 on the 3rd move. And if you look here, so here I'll show you what I've got. This is Blitz and Rapid on Lichess with a rating 1600, 1800 and 2000. And if you look down this list here, then Bishop C5 does okay with 47% for black, but the best performing response for black, which is the only equal one, is 48-48 for the move F5. And this is the Winanwer defense against the 3 knights. Now, if I look back on my very, very limited history so far on chess.com, when I've had the black pieces, I've got a 57% win rate so far over just 28 games, right? So it's not doing too bad already. Now, the engine hates this, but that's not the point. The engine doesn't prepare its favourite openings, right? And if you're playing against human beings are going to be surprised by this. Why? Because if you go back to Lichess here, that go back one move, F5 is here the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th most popular opening, response from this position. It's played 1.2% of the time, right? 1.2%, which means that your 3 knights player is only going to see this once in a blue moon, but you are going to see it more often against the 3 knights, because Knight C3 on move 3 is the 4th most common response, played 7.2% of the time. Okay, so if you play these very normal, most common opening 2 moves, you're going to see Knight C3 7% of the time. Okay, and they are going to be a lot less prepared for what you do. All right, that's the point there. Anyway, so I checked out my Lichess study on the Winanwer and realised that it was sparse. I hadn't finished it, it wasn't good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through the 9 chapters in this Lichess study. And the point of this is not that you're supposed to memorise all the theory, all the moves, right? I don't expect you to do that. I don't expect to be able to do that myself. The point of this, and the reason why I like the interactive lesson approach on Lichess, is that I'm trying to add comments that kind of guide you through the idea of this opening. What are we trying to do? What's the idea in the middle game? Okay, so I mean, the general principle of playing this F5 move is either you want to persuade White to capture away from the centre, in which case you can get some dominance there, right? And also because it's a gambit, because they are spending that move with the pawn capture, you can get a lead in development and hopefully go on and build an attack. Or you may capture their pawn in the centre as well. But we'll see some common themes start to emerge. So here we go. So I've clicked on preview now. So this is the interactive lesson. Okay, so I know what to do here. Get knight out there. And they do this and we do the Winanwer defense. Ta-da! Okay? They take. Now, when they take, I believe we play knight F6. Okay. Right then. So this is accepted D4. Right, so I think this is like the most common line. And so typical move in the Krueger is e4 hitting this knight. Okay, so they've come into, they've moved forwards with their knight. It makes sense, it's defended on there, right? Now if we take, they take, our knight's then attacked, we don't need to do that. Okay, much better to develop with a pin. Okay, and we're also preparing to castle. Now they've prevented that because they brought out their light square bishop. They're preventing our king from short castling. However, and by the way, all of white's moves here are the most common move, right? So I'm not doing, you know, lines within lines within lines. We're doing a single line here with white playing the most common move, even if it's only slightly more common than the second, right? Because the idea here is not that we're going to like beat a computer and memorize all kinds of stuff. Now, what do you see in this position? Well, key thing about having this knight here, right, is that we have control over the d5 square. And this knight is pinned. This knight can't move. So this knight is not controlling that square. That means that only the bishop controls that square, and now we can push d5 because knight can't capture. If the bishop takes, we win the bishop because this knight can't recapture. Okay, so they've moved their bishop here. Is the most common move. Pinning our knight. Let's get out of the pin. We castle there. They take. I guess we just recapture. Yeah. Did we just recapture? Yeah. Now, interesting. This looks good for white, which is why that move is played, right? They've just, you know, won a pawn, right? They are forking the queen and the bishop, but we are unconcerned. Very, very often you will see this a lot. We capture on c3, it comes with check, they have to do something. And now, knight undefended, pawn undefended, queen d7, grab the pawn, happy days, right? We're a pawn down, but we've got a good centre. White has poor pawns, got an isolated pawn there. It's all good. Okay, so that's chapter 1. So you can go through this as much as you like. Let's go to the next chapter now. Just hit preview. Okay. Right, so bishop b5 is only slightly less common than d4 in the Winanwer accepted. Thank you very much. Okay, they do this, we do this, the knight comes out, we do that. Right. They accept. Okay, so basically what I've said is the Winanwer accepted is a delayed 4 knights. Okay, so push it. Okay, because the knight defends. So we do this. Right, now put pressure on the bishop. We want to provoke it to go to c4. Right, a lot of your opponents will be eyeing up the f7 square. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to play our knight here. Hit the bishop. Bishop goes there, but this is a blunder, or at least a mistake. Okay, now our knight's position on f6 plays a part. Okay, remember what we said. Grab the centre with tempo. Right, got 2 attackers, 2 defenders. And now if they take, they simply lose a piece, because they're taking with a minor piece and only winning a pawn, so it doesn't matter. But this is the most common move, but it's actually another blunder, right? We'll take the free pawn, complete development, anticipating short castles. Okay, bishop here, lined up with g1, all good, right? And we are better in this position. That's all you need to do. Next chapter, preview. Yeah. Let's do the Winanwer. Okay, accepted, delayed 4 knights. Okay, of white's 4 most common responses, this one is the weakest. So we've looked at d4, we've looked at bishop b5, and now d3 is just too timid. Okay, we can just grab the centre. And very often you will see this when they develop with a pin, we do the same. Okay, now this is a waste of a move for white because we just never retreat, never surrender. Okay, we grab that and look, now they've got the 3 pawn islands. They've got double pawns here, they've got a trio here, they've got a singleton there. No worries, free stuff, yes indeed, and we are good. Black is better, right? That's all you need to know. Okay, accepted bishop c4. This is the last one. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. And we always play knight f6. Okay, so this is the fourth one, the last of white's 4 common replies, and you can do this yourself, right? This is free for everyone to use. You can even make a duplicate of it. You can add to it if you want, right? Common theme here, we have good control over d5, remember, because our knight is here and our queen is here. So tempo, 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 tempo. Okay, now they're doing this, it means our knight is pinned. Let's prepare to castle, eyeing up h2. h2 is here, so bishop here, eyeing up that. Great. And actually d4 is the only good move here. So we're going to grab the free pawn, of course. And look, all our minor pieces are out on the board. We are actually up in development, really. They've played their rook to here, get the king out the pin. They lose patience and lash out. Now, mere pawns do not concern us here. We are up in development. This bishop is blocked in. Okay? Mere pawns do not concern us now. Taking the knight is fine. You can do this. You can trade off there. But let's look at the knight on c3. Okay? Where can this knight go? Well, it can't go there because of the pawn. Can't go there because of that pawn. Can't go there because of that pawn. Right? Its only decent square is now a4. So, push d4 and it has to go there. Now, if the knight had taken on c6 on the previous go, we can just play queen d7 and then we've got both knights under attack. Right? So now we push forward again and remove the e5 knight's defense. How can we do that? Bishop to here. Oh no, knight to here. Okay, that's fine. And now the rook is no longer defending this knight, and they're going to have to, waste more time. And we've got. I mean, who wouldn't take black in this position? So good. All right, next chapter. Okay, and now we are in declined d4. All right, and here we go, d4. And here, you can actually take either one. Now, the engine doesn't like black's chances at all here, but actually we do quite well. But the idea is to take the e-pawn, and this is a mistake, right? From this position, white actually had to take here. And then if we take, they've got another pawn. Okay, this is not great, because now we've got d5, hits the knight. Knight has to retreat, push again, and we already have an edge here, okay? All we need to do here is trade off and push c6, and we're actually fine, okay? Now, we want to get rid of this bishop that defends this pawn, which could be awkward, okay? We can't go here with the knight, so we're going to come here and then round to g6, okay? And now develop the dark square bishop to a flexible square and crack on. Flexible square, we're controlling two nice diagonals, and black is slightly better. Now, this one, hold onto your hats, because this one is crazy. Okay, this is a crazy line, and this is actually white's best response. But it all gets very, very ugly. Okay, so here we take the pawn, and if they do the correct move, which is knight takes e5, proceed with the usual plan and pin the other horse. Okay. Right. Now, we're in familiar territory. We see this in the Rousseau, which is like I call this like a sharp Rousseau line. We get this a lot in the Rousseau, but if you know what you are doing, then bizarrely, black is in a really good position here. Okay, we have to push g6. And if they take, so this looks really bad, because they're threatening to take our rook with a discovered check, okay, and just win loads of stuff. But, actually the best move here was knight takes knight, believe it or not, because now we have knight f6, and we are hitting the queen. So now if knight takes rook with check, we just take the queen. Just take it. Okay, now we get the rook onto a safe square. So here, Now the knight defends that, knight defends that. Now they come here. Free stuff with a nasty threat. What's free stuff with a nasty threat? Well, knight takes d4 and we are threatening c2 fork. Okay, now find the best move for black. So here, actually, there are a couple of ways about it. You've got a couple of things. You've got bishop takes knight check, which forces b takes, and then we can go in with the fork on king and rook. But actually, and either is fine. I think they're both about 0, 0, 0 on there. Now queen defends this, and now we can go in for this. Takes da da da, and this gets wild, okay? And this is a blunder. So this king has now moved onto the d file, right? Yes, this rook is attacking our knight. It looks as though our king has nowhere to go but d6 now. d5 is also playable, right? And check this out. We just move here. Checks. We just move here. They go there. And now what's our hanging threat? We take the knight with a discovered check. King goes here, right? Kiss. Means keep it simple, stupid, right? Now, 1, 2, 3 minor pieces. White only has 1 minor piece, so we go queen f8, and we're threatening either to trade queens, or we simply going to take the bishop, whatever, right? And we are just winning. It's like -8 or something like that in black's favour. What a line! But that's one to know, right? And this is you know, this is easy. This is fun. You're being guided through some almost like sample games. This is the way we do it. Okay, decline d3, bishop g5. Right, let's do this one. Yeah, we know what we're doing. Knight, 3 knights. Yes, Winanwer. Haha, you weren't expecting that, were you? Okay, now this is a mistake. d3 is just too timid. Okay, so white should compete more forcibly for the centre with d4 or capture here. But d4, as we've seen, is actually the best. Okay, so are we going to take? No, we play knight here. Anyway, when we get the bishop knight pin, we respond in kind and we pin. And they waste a move with that because we just take the knight anyway, and goodbye pawn structure. Now, we can kick white's bishop. Okay, as now we don't think the king's going to go over there with this really weak pawn here. Okay. But there's another difference, right? There's another difference, which is that when we took the knight here with our bishop, they could only recapture with the b pawn, right? We're not in the same situation. We can kick the bishop. If bishop takes, now we must recapture here with the queen. Okay. Castling is for wimps. We're feeling offensive. Let's bust open that centre and mess up White's pawns real good. And look at this now. Doubled isolated. Okay. And we'll prepare to complete development. Keeping castling options open. That means d6. Okay. So here we just bring the bishop out. We can castle either side. And we are slightly better. You're right, boo-boo. Yeah, a puff, mate. Okay. There you go, nice. Just, it's nice. This is a nice way to learn, right? Blah, 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 Winanwer. Okay, weak. The fourth horseman. Fourth horseman of the apocalypse. Have a crack at the centre, right? You know, that bishop's got nowhere else to go, and the king wants to get castled, so now we just go crack. Okay, and now we pin and prepare to castle ourselves. We have this semi-open f-file. We're going to mess up some pawns. Yes, mess them up. Isolated, doubled isolated, right? You can see the same ideas, the same patterns coming over and over again. Make use of the semi-open f-file. Don't mind if I do. Prepare to deploy bishop and play on. d6, right? Black is better. This is so typical and common. And if you're a Vienna Gambit player, you know, you'll see this all the time, etc., etc. Right, let's do the final chapter, shall we? And let's see what things we can come up with. Okay, so this is declined d3 and e takes f5. So this is when they play d3 first, and then they accept. Okay, timid, fourth horseman, bring him in. Now they take. And this is actually the best move in the position. Okay, but boom. We grab the centre. Yeah, you pin my knight, I pin yours. We've seen this, and you know, A3 is the most common move here. There you go, get out of here, bishop. The bishop's going nowhere, blood. Okay, now we take the loose pawn. Okay, don't castle yet, centralise the warrior queen. Queen d6. Happy days. Right, you can go through that in 15 minutes. Right, do it once a week, and you will become somewhat of an expert in that kind of repertoire. This is what I think is the best way to learn currently, from what I know at the improving and intermediate level. So there you go, guys. Everything you need to know about the Winanwer defence for the intermediate player. And of course, a lot of these ideas will be recyclable if you play the Russo gambit against the Italian, if you play the Danish against the Spanish, right? It's the ideas that are important, not the memorization of the moves. So there you go. So I've now ticked something off on my own little training plan, and you know, I'll go back to this. Now, like I said, we don't see this often. What was it, about 7% of positions? So that's 1 in 14 games, but 1 in 14, if you were above 1500, probably worth just preparing for, just a little bit. Okay, there you go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope it's been useful. See you all soon.